Hi BookTube, it's Missy, and today I'm here to share with you guys my weekly wrap-up for week, is it 50? I think it's 50. So this past week that we just had, I participated in 2 readathons. One being the A Year-a-thon readathon, which was the theme of graphic novels and or mangas, and then I also participated in the book nerdathon, which was from December 7th to December 11th from midnight to midnight. So last night I completed quite a lot, not as much as I wanted to, but I did finish all of these books. So I'm really happy about that, and I did get through a chunk of Illumine. So let me share with you which books I used for my challenges and what all I read, if that makes sense. Okay, so I read 4 graphic novels, so that takes care of my A Year-a-thon readathon. I did try to start low, but I just hated the illustrations. They are so hideous, like beyond hideous. I can't stand them, and so they're really hard to look at while reading it. But I will get to it within the coming weeks to finish it off, so I can put it aside. So for the book nerdathon, there were 10 challenges. I got through a couple of them, so let me just go through the ones that I've read, and then I'll just tell you what challenge it goes with. So first of all, I read the Morning Glories, the Morning Glory graphic novels, and I read 5, 6, and 7. These were pretty good. 5, I think I gave 5 3 stars, and then 6 3 stars, and then 7 4 stars. They're still really confusing right now. There are 2 different sets of kids that are at this like boarding school, this Morning Glories Academy. The teachers are manipulating them because these kids have powers. But it's, I swear, and I haven't even seen the TV show The Lost. I know, a lot of people are like, ugh, what? I never watched that show. Not one piece of it. But from what I've heard of what Lost was about, this right now sounds like Lost. There is time travel. There is conspiracies. I have no idea what's going on. There's a lot of God relations in this book. I don't know if God is the one that they're trying to appease and the kids are trying to like keep that from, I don't know. It's still really intriguing. I absolutely love the illustrations, but I have no idea what's going on. Alright, and then, so that took care of read a graphic novel. That also took care of the book set in a school. So that took care of challenge 2 and challenge 8. And next I read Lock and Key, volume 5. I gave this 4 stars, 5 stars, maybe 5 stars. I don't know, it was really good. I loved this one so much more than volume 4. In volume 4, I really hated Dodge. Is that his name? I think that's the bad guy's name. And in this book you get a lot of backstory about the Key House and about Dodge and the kids' dad when he was younger, and where all the keys came from and how it came to be. Very interesting. I cannot wait to finish this series. It is so good. Creeps me out, and yeah, I'm loving it. This didn't this wasn't anything. If I wanted to cheat, I could say that this was a book that contained a new technology, even though the key isn't really technology, but it was made by a alien metal, and that could be a technology. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Alright, The next book I have here was Devils Unto Daughters by Amy Lukovics, and this was for my random book pick. And yeah, I don't know what to say about this book. It's really crazy. It says here, the blurb from Kat Winters, it says it's Stephen King writing Little House on the Prairie, and for, I want to say, 60 to 70% of this book, it was really, really slow. And I was going to give it 3 stars because there was no creepiness whatsoever. It's about a girl, what is her name? Amanda. It's about a 16-year-old girl named Amanda who is having, you know, sex with a boy that she's not supposed to. And this is like in the prairie days. Anyways, so she gets pregnant, and that is like a huge deal. And the boy is all like, psh, I was just using you. If you're pregnant, forget it. I'm leaving. And she doesn't know how to tell her parents about this. She's hoping that they'll just kind of find out as her stomach gets bigger, and then hopefully they'll feel sorry for her and then not kick her out in the cold. But then her dad comes home one day from hunting and says that he had gone to the settlement up north from their cabin, and he's saying that the winter is going to be really, really bad, and the 7 of them that already live in the cabin that they live in now, it's not going to be enough room. And the dad says, let's just go. I heard that there are some settlements down in the prairie, and they're, you know, unoccupied. We can go and we can take one of those cabins for ourselves and live down there, you know, through the winter, and we'll be fine. But the dad doesn't realize that the entire prairie is carrying a demon, and lots of bad stuff happen when they get to the prairie. And so, yeah, I gave this book 4 stars because the ending was like the best, because that's the kind of thing you see in a lot of like slasher movies or horror movies where, you know, you think you know what happens at the end, and then the end is just like, wait, no! I kind of gave it away, but if you watch a lot of horror, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then I didn't give anything away. But yes, I did enjoy this book. I do recommend it. You know, I used to talk about how horror books are tame, and if you're a beginner at horror, then yes, you should read that book. This isn't a beginner horror. I would consider it to be a step above that, but it's not really, really scary. So definitely check this out if you're looking for a short YA historical fiction horror read. Yeah. Alright, and then lastly I read Inherit Midnight, and this one's by Kate K. Myers. I don't know why it took me so long to read this. This book doesn't, it's not a first in a series. It doesn't do anything. So yeah, this doesn't count for any of the challenges, but I did read it. So this is about a girl who is, what is her name? Avery. Avery is the typical rich kid who, you know, grows up hating her life because she feels like she doesn't have any freedom, and her grandma has like kept her like, you know, in the house forever, and she like dotes on her and doesn't let her do anything. And Avery is trying to retaliate because she feels like she's, you know, being locked in a prison, and her grandma is just trying to give her everything, you know, that she needs, but she's rebelling anyway. So one day the grandma gets fed up because she finds out that Avery is sneaking out of the house, and the grandma doesn't want her to be a bad seed because the rest of the family already is terrible, and the grandma wants to keep her, you know, innocent. And so she sends her off to this other boarding school, but ends up boarding school's really, really bad, and there's like corporal punishment and like starvation, and the grandma doesn't know that this boarding school's really bad, and Avery is, you know, fed up, and she's, you know, escaping. So she escapes, but then gets caught before she actually gets out of the school, and she hides in this closet in like this photography classroom, and while she's in there she meets a boy, what is the boy's name? Riley. She meets Riley in the room, and Riley was actually like gagged and like tied up and put in there. So that was very like, you know, convenient in the story's plot. And they meet, and he tells her, hey, I was actually here to get you. And she's like, wait, what? And so he finally gets out of the school. He takes her back home where she is meeting all of her family members in like the dining room of her house or whatever. And her grandma is secretively talking to them through voice recordings, kind of like Charlie from Charlie's Angels. And she's putting them on this wild like treasure hunt, if you want to call it that, through all these different countries and cities, and they're going through their historical family past. So the grandma is a huge historian of her family line, and so the kids have to go through the family line, you know, finding out clues and answering questions in order to win the empire. So let me backtrack, because that kind of probably didn't make any sense. So the grandma's sick. She needs to decide who's going to be the heir of all of her fortune, because she's the last one of the Vandermeers. And instead of just choosing a person to be the heir, because a lot, like her whole family is corrupt. She's got 3 sons, and all the grandkids are evil. And Avery's the only one that actually cares about stuff, but not about the money. Like, she cares about her grandma, but she doesn't want any money. And so it's kind of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in a way, where all the bad kids are weeded out, and then Charlie, being, you know, the one who actually deserves the prize, wins the prize in the end. So it's kind of like that in this book, where Avery is, you know, being the one rooted for by the grandma, hoping that she passes all of these challenges, and all of her evil cousins and uncles are trying to be the winners and take over the empire, so that way they can be rich and like be powerful and everything. Yeah, I won't tell you what happens at the end, but it was actually really, really good, and I quite enjoyed it. And it was very action-packed, and I loved the mystery of all the clues, and there's a little bit of romance. Avery and Riley kind of like, you know, have a like a love blossoming kind of thing. It's cute. The whole book was kind of predictable and very, very convenient, but I still really enjoyed the read. I believe I gave this 4 stars. If you are interested in, you know, a mystery with all of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory kind of aspect going on, and seeing what kind of backstabbing is going on behind, you know, cousins and uncles and all that stuff, then check this book out. And then the very last thing, like I said, that I was reading is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I am currently on page 180. This book is a really quick read. I really, really wanted to finish it yesterday, but I just, you know, ran out of time. And so I will continue on reading this book this week. Hopefully I can finish it tomorrow and then pick up something else. I do still have to pick up Blood Promise. I haven't picked it up yet. I feel really, really bad. But yeah, I wanted to get these books out of the way because they're due at the library this Thursday. So yes, so for the book nerdathon, I got 1, 2, like a fake 2, 3, 4, like 4.5, almost, because I did read a little bit of the sci-fi book. I don't know, like, yeah, 4 out of 10. It seems bad, but it's not too bad, I guess. I did get a lot of reading done, just not all the challenges were met. Anywho, let me know down below if you participated in these 2 readathons and how many books you got read. Did you read what you wanted? I did for the most part. I'm happy with the outcome. I will be doing another readathon TBR because the Cramathon is starting soon. It starts on the 19th, which I believe is Saturday. So I will be filming that in the next couple days, and there are challenges for that one as well. And that is it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye!